It's an event that only happens every 17 years. Right now, billions, perhaps trillions of cicadas are digging their way out of the dirt where they've been living for almost 20 years. They will shed their hard skins, climb to the treetops, mate, and then die, all in a 4-week period.
Good morning, you guys. I am coming to you from the comfort of a screened in porch, so I don't have bugs flying into me. But I wanted to do this video just so you guys could have a chance to enjoy the same sounds that we are enjoying in certain parts of the US right now. So I live in a certain part of the country where every 17 years we are overrun with cicadas. And we have cicadas every year, and you hardly ever see them. Every now and then you will see like the little exoskeleton, the little shells that they leave around. Every once in a blue moon you'll see one. But for the most part, you don't see the cicadas. They chill in the trees, and in the summertime you'll hear the noise that they make, and it sounds like a rattlesnake noise, and the noise will last for maybe like 30 seconds. It's like that rattle sound, and then it goes away. And you might hear that sound, a few times an hour, and it's kind of a nice, peaceful sound. And it just says, oh, it's summertime. This is just one of the many sounds of summer. But every 17 years, we get something totally different. You may have heard about it in the news, or if you live in a certain area where you're experiencing this, you know what's going on. We are inundated with more cicadas than normal. They are definitely visible. They don't just sit in the trees and mind their business. They are flying around everywhere. They're congregating on fences, on trees, on tree stumps, or anything that looks like a tree. So if there's like a street sign or a lamp post, just anything that's just tall and just staying still, they're just congregating. And I've read that they are attracted to even like vibrations. So if you're like mowing your lawn, they will be attracted to the lawnmower. I don't know if that's true because I don't mow the lawn. So, and I would not want to have to mow the lawn during, what's going on right now. So I don't know if that's true. Maybe somebody else can weigh in on that. But it lasts for 6 weeks. They come out of the ground. They come out of the ground. They fly around. They mate, and then they die. And I don't know if they lay eggs, and the eggs go into the ground, and then they wait for 17 years and they come back. But I just want you to hear how loud they are. I'm not gonna do anything to make the volume any louder. Like, I'm not going to exaggerate the sound. This noise is what I hear first thing in the morning. Like when I wake up, I hear this sound in my house. And it's you start hearing this sound around like 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe 7:30. And this sound does not go away. It does not stop. It lasts until, I guess, the cicadas decide to go to sleep around maybe 7 or 7:30 p.m. So you hear this sound all day long. And it is loud. If you're sitting outside trying to have a conversation with somebody, or on your deck, or just anywhere, you are going to have to talk over this noise that does not stop. And it's annoying. Like, I know that there are some people that have a condition where like noise is really great on their nerves, and I feel really bad for those people right now, whoever they are, because this sound is annoying. I'm not one of those people, but it's still annoying. Like, I can't sit outside for too long because the noise does not stop. So I don't know how well you can hear it over my voice, I'll have to go back and listen to it to see what it sounds like on the recording. But basically, if you don't live in an area where you have these 17-year cicadas, there's two sounds that they're making. They are making a little bit of that rattlesnake sound. A little bit. You might be able to hear a little bit of that in the background. But mostly what they sound like is, if you've ever taken a seashell and held it up to your ear, that sound that you hear in the seashell, that is the sound that the air is filled with right now. I say it sounds like a spaceship is hovering overhead, like an invisible spaceship, and you're just gonna hear that for 6 weeks. For 6 weeks, every day. This is what we're gonna hear. And once you live through this one time, you will never forget this sound, because it's like nothing you ever experience. You cannot miss these cicadas. Visibly, they are everywhere. But that sound, it will stay with you forever, because it does not normally sound like spaceships hovering above. But for 6 weeks, every 17 years, this is what we have. So I live in an area where I think it's pretty peaceful, but I know I did one video where I was sitting on this deck, and when I went back to edit it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so loud. Like the sound of the birds and the sound of like people mowing their lawn and cars driving by, like it sounded louder on the video than what it did in person. But yeah, however loud that video was, this is the sound is worse now. So thankfully, cicadas don't really do anything to you. They don't really sting you. They don't really bite you. They really are pretty harmless, to the point that people are like collecting them and eating them. I am not about to eat cicadas. I do not like the way they look, and I don't eat bugs. Like, I'm just not. I know people say that they're a good source of protein, but like, so is chicken, so is beef. Like, if I was in the woods starving, I don't know what point I would have to get to before I started eating bugs or like cicadas. I'm not about to do it, but I see a lot of people posting like recipes for cicadas, or different restaurants are serving like chocolate covered cicadas. Do you? If that makes you happy, go right on ahead. They're harmless. You're not gonna get sick from cicadas, but I will not be taking advantage of that trend. No, I will not be eating cicadas. But yeah, thankfully they are harmless. But if you are somebody like me who does not like bugs, these 6 weeks are not fun, because I don't like bugs that are normal size. But cicadas are about like 2 inches long, and they're fat, and when they flip over, because sometimes you'll see cicadas like laying on the ground and they're on their backs and they're trying to they're struggling to flip over so they can fly around again. When they're laying on their back, they look like really huge wasps. They're creepy looking. And so imagine having wherever you live filled with millions of these things flying around. Now, I remember, hold up, there's an airplane flying by. I'm gonna pause. Sorry, I live in an area where we're not all that far from the airport, so we always hear airplanes flying by. It's the pros and cons of living, not too far away from an airport. But now I was just gonna say, I remember last year seeing these stories in the news about Kenya and different countries in Africa that were being overrun with locusts. And when I saw these pictures, I was like, this is crazy. I cannot even imagine having to live through that. Like, for people who don't like bugs, even if you do like bugs, like this looked like something that was like one of the plagues from the book of Exodus. Like, no one should have to live with that many bugs flying around. I don't know how they did it. If that happened in the United States, I am telling you, it would be a national emergency. Like, life in America would shut down if we had to deal with that many bugs flying around. Like, it just, like, people would have heart attacks and die. Like, I'm serious. I would not be able to deal with that. When I say I wouldn't leave the house, I mean, I wouldn't leave the house. I don't even know what I would do. Like, when I knew these cicadas were coming back, I was like joking, like, I'm not leaving the house, you guys. I'm gonna stay in the house for 6 weeks. I'm gonna hibernate. I'm not going anywhere. But reality is, I've been going out. I like having food. I like having gas in my car. I don't like going to work, but I've been going to work. You know, I have been leaving the house. But so when I say the cicadas are bad, it's not the Kenya locust infestation bad. It's not that bad, but it's just like, it's pretty bad for where we live and for what we normally experience. And I remember when the cicadas were here 17 years ago, they traumatized me. And I said, you know what, when these things come back, I'm not going to be here. I know I will have moved to a different country, or I will move to a different state, but I won't be here. And that failed. I'm still here. I'm upset about that. And it was getting close to the point when it was like March, April. I was like, oh no, these cicadas are coming back. I'm still here. But it is what it is. I'm here. But the reason I didn't want to be here is because last time I had a cicada fly up my shirt, and I was freaking out over that. Like I told you, these things are big. I don't know if you've just seen pictures of them, but in person, like, these cicadas are big. They are big. Okay, obviously there's like tarantulas and stuff like that are bigger than cicadas, but as far as like what normally is flying around outside, cicadas are pretty much the biggest bug that you're gonna see flying around. If you don't like bugs, these are the biggest bugs. And so to have one fly up your shirt when you already don't like bugs, I had one land on my back and I didn't know it, and I walked in the house, went into the bathroom, and then I saw my back in the mirror, and I saw a cicada on my back, and I was like freaking out, trying to get this shirt off me. So I got traumatized last time we had these things here. That's why I'm not a fan of them. And I was like, when they come back, I'm moving. So they're gonna be here for 6 weeks. I think we're on like week 2, maybe week 3. I haven't really been keeping track. You would think that I would be keeping track, but so far so good. You do have to be kind of careful, because sometimes they're in trees and they will just like fall from the tree. So I live in like the suburbs, and there's a lot of trees. So if you're just walking around your neighborhood, you know, you're going to be walking underneath of trees. So you have to be careful that cicadas don't just like drop from the trees and like land on you. So yeah, that's a problem. But thankfully, I have not had cicadas fall on me. I haven't had one fly up my shirt. I haven't had one follow me into the house. I haven't had one fly into my car. So far, so good. But I may walk around and see if I can like film some of the cicadas, so you can see just how many there are. They're like, if you go outside your house or your apartment or wherever, what you're gonna see is a bunch of these like cicada shells that they were in, and they're just like these empty shells that are like on all the buildings and on all the trees and everything. And then there's like gonna be dead cicadas all over the ground, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere. So this is what we're dealing with. Have compassion on people that live in these states, because we're dealing with this sound that doesn't end for 6 weeks. It ends at night, but you know, from morning till night, this is what we hear. If you live like in the city, in an area that has less trees, I've been told that the sound is not that bad. But if you live in the suburbs, you know, you're getting inundated with this chorus. So have compassion on us. We are going through right now. We are going through. So yeah, I just wanted to share the bounty of God's nature with you guys. This is what we are enjoying here, and I think they said it's in 17 states. So this is what we're enjoying, this lovely sound. I know these are God's creatures, but that doesn't mean that I like them. I am tolerating them. I'm sure they serve some purpose in God's plan, but I'm not really feeling it. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Whether you live in an area where there's cicadas or locusts or nothing and you're just laughing at us, either way, I hope you guys have a great day. All right, bye.